So today's lesson is volume of cylinders, so you will need a calculator and your formula sheet. So let's start with the formula itself. Volume is area of the base times height, and just like the surface area formula, this is a universal formula, and you'll notice that the B is a capital B, which means it has an area formula inside of that letter. And since this is a cylinder and its bases are circles, that capital B is going to stand for pi r squared. And remember, the height of a cylinder, or excuse me, even any prism, is always between the bases. So let's just start. Have your calculator ready. Here's our first one. So volume is equal to area of the base times height. Come over to your area formula. Remember that base is a circle. So the area of this base is going to be 3.14 times 5 squared, because 10 is diameter, which means 5 would be radius, and then your height is just 12. So here we come over to our calculator. And I'm going to go ahead and put it all in one spot, all just kind of at one time so we can see what's happening. So I have 3.14 times 5 squared. Height is 12. So let's just put it in our calculator all at one time. 3.14 times 5 squared times 12. And it ends up that this is going to be 942 centimeters. And now this is volume. And so volume is three-dimensional. We have length, we have width, we have height. So instead of a squared, it's going to be a cubed. Okay, let's do another one here. Again, come back over to our formula sheet. You need to get used to going back and forth with that formula sheet. The area of the base, it's a circle. And so that's going to be pi r squared. So we're going to go ahead and use 3.14. Radius is 7. And then the height is 14. So again, I'm just going to bring it down here and put it all together at one time. Come over to our calculator. Calculator. So I have 3.14 times 7 squared times 14. And so this one is 2,154.04 meters cubed. So really volume is rather easy. Again, this is a universal formula. So if it was a rectangular, it would be length times width for that capital B. If it was a triangle, it would be 1/2 base times height. So that capital B is the area formula for whatever shape the base happens to be. So you're just going to multiply those numbers together. So now let's do it in terms of pi. So your homework is going to be both finding volume and then finding volume in terms of pi. So let's go ahead and fill in our base. And again, remember, since this is in terms of pi, we're not actually going to use 3.14. We're just going to use the pi symbol, because it's not going to be included in any of our calculations. And then the height is just the height. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, I'll move the 6 squared in front. Pi times 8. 6 squared is 36. Pi times 8. Come over to my calculator, and I'm going to say 36 times 8. And I'm going to end up with 288 pi centimeters cubed. So I didn't use pi in the calculation, but I must include it in the answer because we are doing it in terms of pi. So here's one more in terms of pi. Let's look at the base. This time I gave you diameter is 7, which means radius is 3.5. So we're going to do pi radius squared. And then height is just height. So we'll come down here, and again, I'm going to move that radius to the front. my 12 is 12. So here we're going to do 3.5 squared times 12, and I'm going to end up with 144 pi inches cubed. So let's come over here and look at our homework. Here's your formula, or here's your home page. It's under the cylinders right here. That's the new concept that we're going for. Here's volume of a cylinder. Here's your assignments. As usual, here are going to be your answers. And then here's your note-taking guide. I will put the note-taking guide in completed, just as always, and the video lesson will be in that folder. So if you have any questions, reach out.